Well, welcome back to the Canadian Virtual Immigrating to Canada Conference. Really excited for all of you to be here. It is 10:30 a.m. local time, that's Toronto time. We have about 30 minutes left in the event. We actually tack on an extra 10 minutes to the event where you can go into the expo area once the panel is done. You can do more networking. I've had a chance to meet people through the networking area. So it's been a lot of fun. And I realize that there's still part of the other session still going on, which Alex tells me just a few more minutes left. So, but we'll start because there's lots to cover, and I'm sure lots of good discussion. If you're watching and you have any questions, by all means, put it in the event or in the stage section, and I will moderate the questions. So again, if you're just joining, my name is Mark Belache. I'm president of TorontoJobs.ca. I'll be moderating this panel. So really excited. I will go around on our screen here clockwise. So first up is on my screen is Sue. Sue is founder and employment specialist at Embrace Canada. So Sue, thanks very much for being on here. Why don't you do a little introduction about yourself, what you do, and how you help people new to Canada?
Yes, thank you for having me. I am very, very happy and honored to be here. Well, I have 12 years of experience in employment services. I work in various organizations, not-for-profit organizations that are specialized in employment services for newcomers, new immigrants. And all the services is funded by Immigration of Canada. Terrific.
And where are you based out of, Sue?
I am based in Mississauga, in Toronto area. Currently, I am working with Job Start, and we are helping immigrants to find jobs in their field of expertise.
Terrific. Well, thanks very much for being on here. Brandon Miller is Managing Director at Maple Immigration Services. Thanks for being on here, Brandon, and you can tell us everybody a little bit about yourself as well.
Hi, Mark. Yeah, thank you for having me to the event. I really appreciate it. So my name is Brandon Miller. I have a company called Maple Immigration Services. We're based out of Toronto, Canada. We've been around for about 10 years, and what we do is we take more of a holistic approach to immigration and settlement. So what that is primarily immigration services, but prior to working in immigration, I help newcomers settle into Canada. So I got to see firsthand what it looks like and some of the struggles. So I incorporate that into a lot of our process now, and we work primarily in the skilled worker, the IT sections through the global talent streams and work permits, and obviously family reunification. But yeah, it's fantastic. So we, yeah, that's pretty much it, Mark.
Okay, well, that's good. Well, we're going to get into more depth as we go along here for sure. Sharini is Regulated Canadian Immigration Consultant. Thanks for being on here, Sharini. And perhaps you can give us a little bit about yourself as well, where you're located and what you do.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. So I'm Sharini Vijaysekara. I'm a Regulated Canadian Immigration Consultant. I have been speaking on Mark's events for the past, I think, last 3 times that he had this virtual Immigrating to Canada conference. And I think it's a very good portal and a very good opportunity for people to network and get together. So just a little bit about myself. I'm a lawyer by profession from back home, and I'm a Regulated Canadian Immigration Consultant here. I deal mainly with economic immigration pathways and assisting anyone with family reunification, and also when it comes to student visas and so on. So if there's any questions, just let me know. I'm based in Mississauga, and it's been quite a small journey for me because I started last year. So, but I'll be happy to contribute with any of the questions that you may have. Thank you.
That's perfect. Thanks, Sharini, and thanks for being on this one and other events. If you're not sure where Mississauga is, it's not Mississippi. If you're familiar with the U.S., it's not a totally different place. Mississauga is a city that is west of Toronto, in the west part of Toronto, about half an hour away from right downtown Toronto. And Z, thanks very much for being here as well. Z is CEO. Z oversees immigration and international student services. So Z, thanks as well for being on here. But can you just give everybody an idea as to what you do and where you're located as well?
Yeah, it's been my pleasure to be here with all this group. Excited to see many people, happy to share their knowledge. So this is one of the medium, and you have been a key link to do that. So that's wonderful. Talking about me and my company, I started this company in 2016. So it's been almost 5 years. I started with economic class immigration, but right now we do cover a lot of stuff like any work related to work permit, LMI. Business immigration has been one of the key factors that we are focusing right now. Apart from this, I think except refugee, I would say we kind of touch all sections of immigration when it comes to helping clients. So yeah, that's pretty much about my company. We're based in Ottawa, Canada.
Terrific. Well, thanks as well for being on here. If you're just joining, you are watching our panel. You're at the Canadian Virtual Immigrating to Canada Conference. You can, if you have any questions for the panelists, you can put them in the event or in the stage chat, and I will moderate. We have Brandon Miller, Managing Director at Maple Immigration Services. Sue is Founder and Employment Specialist at Embrace Canada. Sharini is Regulated Canadian Immigration Consultant, and Z is CEO. Z oversees Immigration and International Student Services. So we have a whole well-rounded panel here today. So kind of open to anybody to answer, but what's going on? I mean, we have 400,000 is what they had announced immigration for 2021, 2022, and 2023, 400,000 in each of those 3 years. But what's going on? We're beginning of March here, 2021. We're still in the midst of the pandemic. The vaccines are rolling out. But what's going on the immigration front? What are you seeing? Maybe Brandon, do you want to start, or Z? You want to try?
Sure. Oh, yeah, I'll dive in. So that's an interesting question, because up until February 13th, everything was pretty status quo. But everything pretty much changed on February 13th, 2021. The biggest thing that we saw was the commitment to the 401,000 numbers that were set out from the immigration minister. And what I see with that is that they invited 27,332 people to Canada, which in express entry terms had never been done. I think that that's actually a signal that the immigration minister is going to hit those targets or come as close as they can to hit those targets. Basically, because if you look at a lot of the news and immigration-wise, what's going on, there's been a lot of questions about these lofty targets that have been set, because we haven't seen these are generational targets. So I think that's pretty much like monumental in the immigration world. That's my take in recent developments.
Yeah, good perspective. Z? Yeah.
Yeah, and I agree to Brandon to large extent, because I was listening to Minister of Immigration. He was very clear that it is not an ambitious target, which people thought initially when they said that they are going to invite around 1 million in the coming 3 years. But now he says it's more vital. It's not about being ambitious. It is vital for the Canadian economy to jump right into the economy, get to where it was, and try to be on the go, rather than, because pandemic has hit everything, including immigration, and they cannot wait. So like Brandon said, that on February 13th, there was a Valentine gift being showered on all the people under Canadian Experience Class. So it was a right move, I would say, because there has been a lot of travel ban restrictions, a lot of services being at halt, where the entire permanent residence process is kind of slow. So you cannot wait things to open up. So why not, take on the people who are already in Canada, who has Canadian education, who has Canadian experience, and they know what Canada is all about. So I think this is a right move, and we expect a lot of surprises this year, covering up many more, similar things. And it's a good sign for all the aspirants. So that's pretty much my call on it.
Terrific. Sue, what's your take on things? You're on mute as well. Yeah, there you go.
Yes. What I would like to tell you is that I work with people facing barriers to Canada for employment. In this case, immigrants, the barrier is like not having Canadian experience. We already know that it is inserted in the human rights in Canada, but the employer can just say, I have someone better than you. And in the end, we know that the issue is because you don't have Canadian experience. What we do is help them with a strategic resume so they can get in their field of expertise. What can I do for you? I can help you with resumes. I can help you with networking. I have a vast networking in my LinkedIn profile. You can look for and find me through the LinkedIn, and we can just connect. And just remember, the key thing when you came to Canada and when it's come to employment is start and grow your networking. What I can say? We are going to a true bad experience with this COVID situation, and many people are not being able to come because they have to go to hotels, they have to go to quarantine, and it's lots of issues coming in due to COVID-19. So anyways, if you are outside yet and preparing to come, you can reach lots of programs. They have pre-arrival programs that will help you with employment services.
Excellent. Well, thanks, Sue. And if you're watching, you have questions for the panelists, just throw them in the event or in the stage chat on the right-hand side of your screen, and I'll be able to ask the panel. So Srini, I'm say in another country, what can I do to improve my chances of getting into Canada? Is it better if I was on my own or with the family? It doesn't matter. Maybe you can kind of walk through what you know so that people watching can have a better idea.
Yeah, Mark. So if you're out of the country, so the main pathway for you is the Express Entry Scheme, right? And if you don't qualify for that, the option of coming in here as a student and having the necessary Canadian experience and then applying through the Canadian experience class. So in terms of what is better, whether it's coming with your family or coming with by yourself, what I would say is if right now, since Canada is targeting mainly on the people who are already here, there is a little chance for people outside of Canada to be able to get the high marks that is going on right now with the cutoff scores, right? So if you were here in Canada with Canadian experience, you may be able to achieve, even with your family members accompanying you, you may be able to achieve the high targets. But for a foreign national right now, with the highest qualifications and the highest IELTS, and with the necessary work experience, they still range around 420 to 440 maximum for in terms of points. So right now our cutoff is around 469 and to 470. And even the PNPs, when it comes to just foreign nationals applying to Canada on their own without job offers, the cutoff scores are a bit high. But what I would say is promising right now is the latest draw that they had for the Canadian experience class, which Brandon and Z just spoke about, because that has opened up a new avenue as well as some sort of hope for the people that going forwards, what I feel is that they will kind of relax the other streams as well. And maybe the point scores will come down. And that will give the opportunity for all people interested in immigrating to Canada to launch their application. So it's up to them to start now, to get their IELTS ready, to get their credentials assessed. If your family members are there, just make sure that, that you're not inadmissible in any form if your family members are accompanying you, right?
Okay. And where should I go for what website, or where should I go for information about how to calculate what my points might be and how to start?
So the comprehensive ranking system is available online. You can go to the Canada.ca website on the immigration pathway and assess your where you rank at the moment, or it's always best that you consult an immigration consultant or a lawyer in terms of getting a proper assessment, because sometimes you would not know where you actually stand, and you may calculate it in a different way. So check out an immigration lawyer to help with these or
types.
A consultant, a registered immigration consultant, to help you with your assessment and also your eligibility.
Terrific. So we have a question from Ziad here. Whoever wants to take a shot at answering. If I have a PR visa but reside overseas but still considered a non-essential traveler due to COVID, is there any other ways to expedite the process and be able to land in Canada, or do I have to wait till the restrictions on COVID improve? Anybody want to answer that one?
Sure, I'll grab it.
Yeah.
PR visa. So I'm gonna assume that he's already been approved for PR, and if he's been approved for PR, there are procedures in place that are laid out. I really don't want, like, we can go through each step, but if you look in there, the key thing that you need to be aware of is what your the expiry of your medical. So those medicals are not being relaxed, and actually there is a whole team within the IRCC that's actually working to renew medicals and whatnot. So there are procedures in place. You are able to come in. Now there are the certain quarantine provisions and all of these things that are quite fluid and are changing, like the hotels and different things that we hear about. But it is possible to travel.
Okay, great. Anybody else want to add anything to that? To Brandon? Thanks very much, Brandon. No? Okay.
I think Brandon is right. The best way to do is fill up a web form and get going, because you need to follow up as well when things are not moving. And certainly they have to keep checking Canada's official website, canada.ca, in regards to the changes happening. So there are a lot of changes that government is making in favor of the candidates. So things that were real 2 months ago have changed now. 1 month ago has changed now. So it's all about, getting the right information, like Brandon said, because there are few steps to be followed. And in this case, yes, if he has a COPR, which we assume, then Brandon is rightly saying that it depends on the medical expiry as well. So yep, government, Immigration Canada knows about it, and they are really worried on it, and they have a few strategies to cover up this as well.
Okay, excellent. And Sue, maybe hopefully you can answer this, is how long, like if I started the process today, how long before I actually would land in Canada? And what's a reasonable amount of time that I should expect? I know there's the overlaying COVID and everything else, but what would you estimate somebody would probably need to wait for? And you're on mute, by the way, as well.
Yes, my expertise is more after they come. So I think who would be best to answer this question is someone helping them with the process. But I know that when they get the approval for permanent residence or the visa approval, they have a certain time to land. So they have to come within that time, because they can lose their status. But I think one of my colleagues there, they can help with this answer.
Maybe Z wants to, or Serini, how long approximately would it be from the time I start till the time I actually land in Canada?
Yeah, so by the time I start reading, from the time that they receive the COPR, is it, or before, from the time they actually lodge the application?
Yeah, I start the application today. When can I expect?
Yeah, okay. So if it's, let's say it's at the time that, they started processing your application. If it's the express entry, they take 6 months. That's the timeline given for express entry applications for processing. So by that time, you should be able to get your COPR. But given the time frames now, we believe that it'll at least extend to about 6 to 12 months. And if it's a paper-based application, it will take 12 to 18 months for processing. And so given that time, once you receive your COPR, they usually give you a visa, which is valid for, let's say, another 3 months, if I'm not mistaken, where you have to land within that time period, right?
Yep.
So if you're like when Brandon mentioned regarding your medical examination and the expiry of that, sometimes what you could do is, if you feel that it's expiring soon, then you can ask to redo the medicals again and get it extended. But you'll have to write an email to IRCC and get that. So altogether, once you settle down, it'll at least take, I would say, good 2 years for you to really come and settle down. Yeah.
So on the really fast process, 6 months. On the slower process, 2 years, give or take, right? Okay, good. Yeah. Bader's got a question here. Thank you for having us here. Is there any impact on the Ontario programs, French speakers, skilled foreigners, after the government's last decision about focusing on local citizens who already have work permits or studying in Canadian universities or in schools? Ontario is still going to send requests, or is Ontario still going to send requests? Anybody want to take that question?
Yes. The thing is, Ontario has never said that they are not going to send invites. For your information, yesterday they had a draw where they have, I've just getting the information is they have made a draw in 2021, and yesterday there was one of the draws where they have invited 754 candidates who are depending on the streams like human capital, priority stream, French speaking skilled worker and skilled trade streams. So this has been the numbers, and the range of CRS was 463 to 466. So looking at this yesterday's draw, I don't think so that none of the provinces are going to stop, because federal has their own plans, but at the same time, they also consider provincial nominations, right? So provinces also have got their priorities to get the people there in their provinces. So it's not only Ontario, I would say most of the provinces will come up with surprises which are favoring the candidates.
Okay, terrific. We have a question from Umaima, and if you have a question as well, just put them in the event or the stage you're watching. Great question here. I don't know if I have, do you have an idea when the extraction will restart? My score is 470 and I'm confused whether I should wait for the CRC or ask for a PNP. Anybody want to take that question?
Yeah, I'll grab that. So I'm assuming that she's overseas, and I just add on to some of the other information that we were speaking about previously. I really think when I look at the numbers of what's in the draw, and I look at more, mathematically. And so if you're going to be pulling 401,000 people, there was 152,000 people that were in there, and they pulled out 27,000. So we're down to 125. And you can reasonably assume that at the top, those people are under the PNP programs, and down near the bottom, you're probably got federal skilled trades and different people that are floating in there because they would have lower language scores. So the bulk of the people that are left in the pool are, federal skilled worker. I also don't believe that the government's actually going to take any attention away from the federal skilled worker program, because if they do, they're never going to get the numbers that they need over the not this year, but next year and the year after from just the CEC program. So basically, it'll turn it into become a student and become, go through CEC or a worker. So I really think that, tying into the question that she asked, I believe that at 470 still is a strong score. I also believe that the government is going to be looking overseas still and is going to continue to draw from that. And they'll probably be tied to what the border situation looks like with COVID in that respect. Because right now, what we saw when COVID started, they went PNP, CEC, PNP, CEC, and we went in about March to July, we went from 470 to 431. Which basically tells me that they cleaned out a lot of that, and the bulk of the people that are left over are federal skilled workers, except for the 5,000 draws they did back in December. So I think that 470 is a good score. If you want to apply for the PMP programs, you can do that. There's different application streams. Some of them go through express entry. Some of them are direct. I also think that this new draw is problematic for the provinces because it might pull some stuff away, but it also might create some opportunity because there's different applications that have to be done and fees that have to be paid. So some people might be second guessing what they're doing. So again, it's all kind of up in the air, but I think that that's a strong score. And if you can maintain that score and the borders start to open up, I think you'll start to see more overseas invites.
Great. Thanks a lot, Brendan. We'll take one more question here. Ismaili is asking, I'm on a PGWP. Do I need a Class A or B job, or is any job fine?
Yeah, Mark. So let me answer that. So for a PGWP, they do have to have a 0AB class job in order to be eligible for the Express Entry Federal Skilled Worker Program. So it is important that they do get a 0AB class job.
Okay, terrific. Sudil is asking, does one need a TEF score for French before applying?
Yes. Can I jump into? Yeah. So the answer is, if you want to get the extra points for the French ability to speak French or fluency in French, then you do need this exam to be taken up before you add that score. It is something similar to what we do it for English language, which is called as IELTS. So this is a substitute, or you can add both together to get more points. But yes, the answer is you need a TEP score before you actually count
Okay,
it towards
terrific.
your CRS.
Well, thanks. We have just a couple minutes left, so maybe we can just go around real quick, and if anybody wants to add something, maybe 20 seconds each, 20, 30 seconds each, just anything that you want to make mention of, how someone can get hold of you, something you want to add to something that's already been said, go for it. So Sue, why don't you start, and we'll go around clockwise on my screen.
Yes, I would like just to say that I have been through all this process of immigration as well. I have been in Canada for 20 years, and I have a background in law, and here I changed. I went to the social services, but I can tell you that I am very happy in this position. You can come and you can change your career, whatever you want, we can help you. As I said, my program is funded by Immigration of Canada, and they pay us to help you to settle in a more smooth way into Canada society. Thank you.
Thanks,
Nice
Sue.
to be here.
Thanks very much, Sue. Brandon?
Yeah, thanks, Mark. Just to wrap up, I just dovetail on what Sue said. I believe that anybody who wants to immigrate to Canada has the ability to do that. However, I think that they need to take a holistic approach to immigration. I think that they need to look at have a proper plan put together that's also realistic, and also they need to be honest with themselves if they can actually implement it. There's a lot of people that are qualified maybe a year or two ago, but then things change because of the dynamics of it, and sometimes they're not qualified. So again, I think that we're in very exciting times in terms of the draws and the opportunity to come here. Again, these numbers that we've seen under the economic or just immigration classes are going to be massive. So I think that there's a lot of opportunity. And I also think that the government they've done a lot of things that, a lot of people are like eyebrows raised, because so keep an eye on it. And I think there's some exciting times to come. So if you want to come to Canada, now's a very good time.
Excellent. Thanks very much, Brandon. Sharini, 20, 30 seconds.
Yeah, okay. So thank you, Mark, for having us, and it's been a great forum. Just want to tell for people who are interested, like Brandon said, don't give up. If you have an interest, something will work out for you. And what I would like to suggest is that people also look at the student stream to come here, because there is a great pathway from there for a student who comes to Canada. Right now, Canada is ranked third in international student opportunities. So I believe that if you don't qualify for any of the programs right now, at least look into the option of coming in as a student and gaining that Canadian experience, which will maybe create a pathway for you in the future.
Excellent.
Thank you.
And thanks, Sharini. And Z, wrap up.
Yep. Thank you, all of you. It was wonderful to meet you all virtually. That's the trend nowadays. And in regards to my message to the audience is very clear. If you are eligible, apply. Don't wait for your score to boost up, because this CEC opportunity was only for the people who are actually in the pool, not sitting outside and waiting to improve their score. So my advice, like Sharini and Brandon and Suli said, get going. You are waiting outside and talking to many groups, many people, looking for free advices, and you just wasting your time. If you are eligible, go for it. If you want to do it on your own, do it. If you need a professional help, seek your professional help from the person whom you trust. There are many people available. Like Sharini said, you can contact a registered immigration consultant like we do in Canada. And that's pretty much it. Student, yes, study permit has been a pathway if you're not eligible under PR, because time is also important for everyone. So rather than waiting and watching, if something comes up like study visa as an option, go for it. And I think we all are able to help you in some or the other way. So you can definitely browse our website, book our consultation, the national consultation. That's pretty much it.
Terrific. Well, thanks very much. Srini, I know you have to go, so feel free to go ahead. I'm just going to finish up with the wrap up, but thanks, Srini. So thanks to all of you on the panel, Brandon Miller, Managing Director at Maple Immigration Services, Sue, Founder, Employment Specialist at Embrace Canada. Srini is Regulated Canadian Immigration Consultant, and Z is CEO. Z oversees Immigration and International Student Services. So you want to definitely reach out to anybody on the panel if you're looking for some help. I want to thank you all for coming to the event today, the virtual Immigrating to Canada conference. The event was presented by TorontoJobs.ca and TorontoEntrepreneurs.ca and powered by EventLogic.ca. Again, my name is Mark Belache. I'm president of TorontoJobs.ca. If you are looking for a job, you want to check out some of the jobs that are available in the Toronto area, you can visit TorontoJobs.ca. You can also check out my book. I wrote a book called Tales from the Recruiter. You can check it out at talesfromtherecruiter.ca. It's some tips on how to find the perfect job in Canada, so you don't want to miss that. Again, talesfromtherecruiter.ca, TorontoEntrepreneurs.ca. If you're a business owner, you can check that out as well. And EventLogic.ca, logic with a K.ca, if there's an event that you want to check out for upcoming events. And I also want to thank Larlee Rosenberg, leading Canadian immigration law firm based in Vancouver, Canada, out west. Their lawyers are experienced in all areas of Canadian immigration law, and they advise local and multinational corporations on the movement of key employees and individuals and families who dream of building a better future in Canada. So visit Larlee, LARLEE.com. And if you'd like to have your organization and services highlighted, we have speaker, sponsor, and exhibitor options available. Check out EventLogic.ca. We have a great team, and I want to thank the team for putting this on. There's a lot of people behind the scenes, Jesse, Alex, Rachel, and Sandra, Jericho, Justice. So I want to thank them all. I want to also let you know about the upcoming events that we are doing, to the TO Tech virtual hiring event for tech people. That's Wednesday, March 10th from 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern time. We also have the Student Career Conference that happens on Thursday, March 18th from 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern time. That's Toronto time. And then we have the Toronto Entrepreneurs Virtual Conference that happens on Thursday, March 25th as well. Also, just check out TorontoJobs.ca. If you're looking for a job, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram. You can subscribe to all our YouTube channels. We do tack on an extra now 7 minutes that you can still spend in going into the networking area and into the expo if you're watching, so you can visit some of the areas if you're still looking for some information. And I want to thank you, all of you on the panel, and thank all of you for watching. Want to thank all the other speakers as well for being on today. And we will be running this event as well in a couple of weeks, or in a couple of months, I should say. So make sure to check out TorontoJobs.ca/news for updates on that as well. So again, thanks to all of you. Stay safe and stay right there as well. And we'll be right back. But thank you for all of you for watching.